Hello everyone and welcome to a special afternoon edition of Maker Monday. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to show you the basics of coding using Scratch. Now here at the library we do lots of coding and we have code clubs that we hold for children ages 8 to 13, but we've also run coding for adult workshops and coding for seniors workshops. Now I believe that you're never too old to learn to code or to learn a new skill. And coding is a wonderful skill to learn as it promotes creativity and problem solving, and it teaches us the skill of computational thinking. So what is coding? Well, put simply, when we talk about coding, we're talking about using a programming language to get our computer to do what we want it to do. And the programming language that we're going to look at today is Scratch, which uses block-based coding. And that's the one that we work with when we run our code clubs, but there are many different other programming languages as well that you can choose from. Scratch is a great one for beginners because it's very simple to use, and it was developed by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it's designed specifically for ages 8 and up. Now you can follow along with me at home today as I show you this tutorial. Simply grab your laptop computer or desktop computer and go to the Scratch website, scratch.mit.edu. Let's get started. This is the Scratch homepage. I'll quickly talk you through some of the features on this page and then we will begin our project. So looking at the ribbon across the top of the page, you can see up on the right hand side here that you can actually join Scratch. Now, if you join Scratch, you can create a Scratch account using your email address. The benefits of creating an account are that you can save your projects and then sign into your account when you want to keep adding to your project. On the left-hand side, you will see the Ideas tab. So we're going to click on that one. The Ideas tab will take you to some Scratch tutorials and also some activity guides. And this is a great resource for beginners. So I would recommend having a look through some of the activity guides if you're new to Scratch. The Explore tab lets you view other projects that other Scratch users have made, and it is also a great resource if you're looking for ideas or just for enjoyment and entertainment. To create our project today, we're going to use the Create tab. So let's click on that tab now. So this is our Create screen. The first thing I'm going to do is just close this Tutorials tab that's popped up in the middle of the screen because we won't be using that one today. Now you'll see that there are three main components on our screen. On the right-hand side, we have the stage. This is where we will see our animation come to life and our characters moving around. On the left-hand side of the screen are our coding blocks. Each of these blocks has a specific command or action that tells our characters what to do. And we will arrange these blocks in a specific order and move them into the middle of the screen in order to create our code. This middle section of the screen is the script. This is where we place our coding blocks and create our code. You'll see with our coding blocks that they are color-coded depending on their function. For example, our blue blocks are our motion blocks. Purple blocks change the look of our characters or animations. Pink blocks allow us to add sound and so on. In this tutorial, we will primarily look at the first 5 colors. So to begin our animation today, we're going to choose a character. Now in Scratch, our characters are called sprites. And you can see at the moment that the sprite we have got on the screen is our cat. But I'm going to use a different sprite today, so the first thing I need to do is delete the cat. So to delete the cat, I simply come down to the bottom here, and I can either right click on the cat and click delete, or I can click on the X next to the cat. So let's go ahead and delete our cat. Now to choose a new sprite, I come down to the bottom right of my screen here, and this is the Choose a Sprite button. Now there are a couple of different options that Scratch gives you. You can choose a sprite from the Scratch library. This is a library of ready drawn and ready created characters. Or you could choose to paint your own sprite. You could choose for Scratch to pick you a surprise sprite from their library, or you could upload a sprite from your photos. I'm going to click the first option, Choose a Sprite. And you'll see that all of the different Scratch sprites come up on the screen. They're all listed in alphabetical order and there's a great range to choose from. You can also narrow it down if you're looking for a particular category of character.
by clicking on one of these options up the top. So I'm going to look for an animal. So I'm going to click on animals and I'm going to choose this butterfly here. So to choose it, to put it into my animation, we simply click with our left mouse click and you'll see that my butterfly now appears on the screen. And you can hold down the left mouse click over your character or your sprite and drag it to where you would like it to start on your stage. So for my animation, we're going to start our butterfly down on the bottom left of our stage, and I'm wanting to code him so that he will fly up to the top right of the screen. So to do that, I'm going to use one of my blue motion blocks, and we're going to use our glide block. So to place that block into our script, into our code, we're going to hold the block down with the left click of the mouse. So click once onto the block and then use your mouse to drag it across and then let go, and then that will put the code onto the page. So if we test that block by clicking on it, you'll see that my butterfly lit up, but he actually didn't move, and that is because I need to change my coordinates. So you'll see that currently in my coordinates, I've got X at -112 and Y at -100. If we come over to our stage here, you can see that these coordinates are already written down the bottom of the stage. And that means that this is where my butterfly is currently sitting on the screen. So if I hold my left click down over my butterfly, I'm going to move him across the stage, and I want you to keep your eye on these coordinates, and you'll see that when I place him in another position, those coordinates will change. And this will tell me what numbers I need to put into my coding block to get the butterfly to land where I'd like him to. So I'm going to drag my butterfly to where I would like him to glide to in my animation and let him go. And we can see that the coordinates we need down the bottom here are X 129 and Y 103. So let's write that into the code. We're going to click in the X box and delete this number, and then we're going to type in 129. In the Y block, we'll again delete that number and type in 103. Now I can drag my butterfly back to his starting position, and let's click on that code. And you'll see that my butterfly now glides to the top of the screen. I'm just going to put him back down where he started. Now I would like to start my code by pressing this green flag here. At the moment, if we press the green flag, nothing happens. So we need to add that code in so that the computer knows how to begin our animation. So let's do that now. So to start our animation with the green flag, we need to choose one of our yellow events blocks. So let's click on events, and you'll see it's the very top one here when green flag is clicked. So to choose that block, we're going to pick it up and drag it like we did with our motion block. And we're going to drag it across into our script. But when we let this one go this time, we're going to drag it down until we see this shading appear on the screen. And when we release it, you'll see that our two coding blocks actually snap together. So they're forming one cohesive code. So if I click on my green flag now, you'll notice that that is now the way that our animation begins. So let's move our butterfly back into position. Let's see what else we can add to our butterfly. Let's choose to add some sound to our butterfly. So we can click on our purpley pink sound blocks, and let's decide to play a sound until done. So let's pick up that block up, the very top sound block. We're going to move it over and let it go again so that it connects to our other coding blocks. Now you'll see at the moment it's set on cricket. If you click on the drop down box, you'll see that we have a couple of different options here. We can choose from two pre-chosen sounds from scratch. So we can choose a pop sound or the sound of a cricket, or we can record our own sound. Now, I don't know if I want to use either of those sounds. So let's click off that code and we're going to come up onto our tabs up the top here and click on the sounds button. So here you can see some sounds that we've already defaulted and already added to our library. So we can preview this sound and decide if it's right for us. So let's preview this cricket sound. I'm going to click on the cricket button and we can click play to hear what this sounds like. Let's click play and have a listen. And you'll hear the sound there. You'll see that you can actually change this sound. You can make it louder, or you can speed it up and slow it down, and so on. I don't think that I'm going to use either of these two sounds, so I'm going to come down on the bottom left of my screen and click on the choose a sound button, and this will give us a couple of different options. Again, we can choose the sound from Scratch's pre-recorded library of sounds. We can record our own sound, and the kids who come to our code clubs really enjoy this part of Scratch, recording their own sounds. It's lots of fun. You can choose a surprise sound, or you can choose to upload a sound. Let's go to the Sprite Sound Library. We're going to click Choose a Sound. And now you'll see, just like with our Sprite library, all of the different ranges of sounds appear on the screen. They're all listed again by alphabetical order or by category. So let's listen to some of the different animal sounds and we might find one. So you can see here's all our animal sounds. We can hover our mouse over any of these sounds to get a preview of what the sound will sound like. So let's have a listen to a couple. I don't know if there's any sound that really matches my butterfly, so let's just have a bit of fun with it. Let's click that first one. Let's click on this chatter sound to add this to our library. So let's click with our left mouse and you'll see that that's now added to our sound library. So if we go back into the top tab here, we'll go back into our coding blocks and then that brings up the animation that we were working on. And you'll notice now if I click on this down arrow next to my cricket sound, you'll see that it's added my chatter sound to my sound library. So I'm expanding my options. So let's click on chatter to add that sound to our library and to our butterfly. Let's also add another coding block and then we'll test our animation. So I'm going to add a purple looks block. And I'm going to have my butterfly say something. So let's click the say coding block and drag that across. At the moment he's saying hello. You can delete that and you can make it your character say anything you would like. Let's have our butterfly say coding is fun. And we'll let that one go. So let's test our animation again by pressing the green flag. And you'll see the little coding is fun speech bubble come up on the coming out of the butterfly there. So I'm pretty happy with this. You'll see that he's saying coding is fun and it's not going away. If you wanted that speech bubble to go away, you could change your script to this hello block. So let's put this one in. We'll take out this block and put it back. Let's put this one in and we'll type in that coding is fun message again. And let's start our animation again. And you'll see that this coding block says coding is fun for 2 seconds. So you'll notice that that speech bubble actually went away after 2 seconds. So there's different variations that you can choose depending on how you want your animation to look. I'm pretty happy with how this is going, but I think I want to add a bit of a garden-y background. At the moment, the white is a little bit boring. So to add a background, it's very similar to how we add a sprite and add a sound. We're going to come down to the very bottom right-hand corner and click on Add a Backdrop. Again, you can choose from from Scratch's library. You can paint your own or you can upload your own background. I'm going to choose one from their library. There's a beautiful range of backgrounds, so have a look through, scroll through and see all of the different ones that you can choose. I'm going to click something gardeny. Let's choose our garden rock scene. So I'm going to left click on that one. And you'll see that that now appears on my stage, and it's starting to just add that extra element to make this animation come together. So the last thing that we're going to do for our butterfly is you'll notice when he's gliding beautifully, but it sort of doesn't really look like he's actually moving his wings. So the final bit of code that I want to add to my butterfly is a code that will make it look like he's actually flapping his wings. So let's do that now. So to code our butterfly to look like he's flapping his wings, we're going to start a new line of code. So I'm going to go back into my events blocks and just drag another one of those when green flag is clicked blocks across, and just let it go underneath my original coding blocks. So to make our butterfly look like he's moving, we're going to explore his different costumes. So we're going to head up into the top left-hand corner here and click on the Costumes tab. And you'll see that our butterfly has two different costumes. At the moment, the one on our screen is costume A. If we click on costume B, you can see that our butterfly's wings are in a different position. Now there are some other features you can use here with the costumes. You can actually paint, so you can pick up your paintbrush and paint some extra detail into your butterfly like I'm doing here. You can also choose the arrow button and you can resize your butterfly to make it smaller or larger. You can flip it horizontally or flip it vertically. It's a great idea if you've got time to have a look in the costumes tab at all of the different features, and you can really customize your sprites this way by adding any detail that you would like. So we'll click back on butterfly A, which is the one that we started with, and we'll go back into our coding tab, and we're going to choose a purple looks block because we want to change the way it looks. So we're going to choose the switch costume button, and we're going to click that one across next to the green flag. So if we give that one a test, you'll see that when we click the flag, he actually switched into that second costume, which is butterfly B. We're going to put a control block in, and we're going to ask our butterfly to wait for 1 second. So let's add that one in. We'll go back into our looks tab and we'll choose another one of those switch costume blocks, but this time we'll change it from butterfly B to butterfly A. So we click on the drop down and change it to butterfly A. Then we'll go back to our orange control block and we'll ask him to wait 1 more second. So when we click our green flag to test this code, our butterfly should move into butterfly B, which is what it's currently on. He'll wait 1 second and then he'll change back to butterfly A and wait again. Let's have a look how that works. So you can see that our butterfly changed costume, but now he's stopped doing that. But I want my butterfly to be going from A to B throughout the entire duration of my animation. So to do that, we're going to add a control block. And this one that we're going to add is the forever loop. So you'll see that there's a gap in the middle of our forever loop. So if we drag that one across to our coding blocks, I want to place it underneath the when green flag is clicked, but I want all of my other coding blocks to go in the middle of my forever loop so that everything that's happening in the, inside of the loop is happening all the time. So let's line it up under the when green flag is clicked, and you'll see that now my costume switches and my waiting time is all in this forever loop. So this means that while my animation is running, my butterfly will be doing this code the entire time. Let's click the flag and test it. So you'll see that my butterfly is now flapping his wings. Let's just stop our animation. I'm really happy with that, but I'd like him to flap his wings a little bit faster. So to be able to control that, I can come into this wait 1 second block and I can change the duration that my butterfly is going to wait. So the lower the time, the quicker the wings will flap. So if we change that from 1 Let's halve that and type in 0.5. And now if we test our code, you'll notice that he's flapping his wings a little bit faster. So let's stop our animation. I'm going to click on the green flag at the top of the screen and we'll watch our animation come together. Beautiful. So you can see both of our coding blocks have worked together to create our animation. So this is just a very basic introduction to Scratch. Please have a go and explore these blocks a little bit further. Test them out by dragging them across into your script and seeing what they can do. Give yourself a challenge and add another character into your animation. So if you are adding another character, let's add this beetle in, for example. Just be aware that any code that you are writing for the beetle, you need to have the beetle selected. So you'll see when we've chosen our second character here that my coding blocks have disappeared because I haven't written anything for him yet. So for your first character, any code that you want to write for your first character, you just need to have your character clicked. So to give yourself a little bit of a challenge, I want you to add a second character into your animation and code that character to do something. Have a go at going into the costumes and creating additional features for your character, or perhaps drawing your own character, and have a play with the backgrounds as well. So maybe draw your own background or take a photo and upload that. I hope you guys have a lot of fun exploring many of the wonderful features of Scratch.